Okay, so let me, Wheezy, can you
Yeah,
hear
hello,
me?
Otis. Yeah, I hear
All
you.
right. So, yeah, what are you offering in exchange for pie, or what? Who do you know that is offering something in exchange for pie, or who are the people that you know you can influence to offer something in exchange for pie? That is our topic today. So let's hear from you. Woody, you're speaking from Botswana, right? Eswatini. Is that correct?
Yeah, 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 from Botswana.
Okay. Botswana and
Yeah, but
Eswatini, are they the same?
yeah, hello. Can
I
you hear
can
me?
hear you. Yes, I
Yeah,
can.
yeah, but I was not the question. Can you repeat the question again? I was
No, it's not like our topic. Our topic for discussion today is Pi Consensus
Mhm.
Awareness Month. So the Pi Revolution started a consensus awareness this month on the 1st of June to make aware the value of the Pi that we're mining. We're not giving it a specific value, but to make aware,
yeah,
to make pioneers understand that what you have on your hands is very valuable. So what are you offering in exchange for Pi?
yeah, but I will try to guess or something because I don't know that much. Yeah, so most of the time, what I see most of the times is like yeah, patience. Yeah, you need to have patience. You need some. You need to know some certain stuffs like yeah, honestly I can hello, can you hear me, Otis?
Yeah, I can hear you. Is there anything you have that you're offering in exchange for Pi? Like if you have a business or if you have a service, what are you
Oh,
doing to
that's right, that's right.
contribute? Yeah, what are you doing to contribute to the Pi consensus?
Yeah, but most of my times is like what I'm doing is like to continue to encourage people open to make to make people join pi to continue embrace the pi network for other people to get opportunities. For example, I think by making some marketing stuff such as like doing t-shirts. Yeah, I think that way it will help a lot in embracing the Pi network.
Oh, okay. You mean you print T-shirts and you're ready to accept Pi? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying? Wow, that's good. You do it there in Botswana.
yeah, I do it a lot in Botswana. Most more times, I have some friends. I have a right now. I have more than a lot of people that have encouraged to Pi network, and they're always mining Pi each and every time.
Yeah, but are you offering your service in exchange for Pi?
Yeah, but most of my time, we haven't ever thought a lot about that. But I think in the next coming months, we will make a plan for that.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. That's great. That's cool. That's cool. Um, let's hear from you, Don Rado. Are you in the house? Okay,
Hello.
Lucent. Yeah,
Hello.
hello. Yeah, you can speak. I can hear you.
Hello.
Oh,
My
you can
name is
speak.
Babu. Hello.
Okay, I didn't get the name. What's your name? Yeah, I can hear you.
My name is Babangida. I'm speaking from Kasina.
Hello, Musa.
Yeah.
Okay, Babangida
I'm,
Musa.
yes. I'm speaking from Kasina right now.
Oh,
Hello.
all right.
Can you hear
Yeah,
me
I
now?
can hear you. I can hear you audible.
I'm speaking
I
from
can hear you.
Kasina.
Just speak.
Okay.
You're
So I'm
welcome.
also
You're
a
welcome,
pioneer
Musa.
from Kasina State.
All
So
right.
I am a nurse, registered nurse with Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria. So I have my own private nursing home, so I will also be happy to be accepting this Pi coin for my services by the grace of God.
Inshallah. Amen.
Yes,
In Katsina, wow, that's
yes,
this is wonderful. This is sweet to my
yes. And
ears.
there are a lot of pioneers over here too.
That are willing to accept Pi.
Thank you. Yes, and I also did my KYC yesterday, and I'm now a validator.
Yay! I'm clapping for you. we have we have so many
And then I
validators in the house
also did
today.
KYC for three of my uh, earning team.
You also did what?
KYC, I assisted them to do their KYC.
Okay, that's
Yes,
fine.
and
That's fine.
yesterday, among them, one is also a validator now
Wow.
after
So
passing
the process is
KYC.
that fast. Like you can pass
Yes,
KYC now and become a validator now.
my own is just between 15 minutes. I did it within 2 minutes. Then after like 5 minutes, I checked the progress. I saw that I passed it. So I applied for the validator and I passed the 7 questions. So immediately I started validating people.
Wow, that's great. Great, great. But
Yes.
what amazes me from everything you said is that you're a midwife. Am I correct? You're a nurse rather,
I'm
and
a
you're
nurse
registered with the
and I have my
okay.
own private nursing home. Though I'm working with government, but I have people that are working under me too in my own private nursing home.
Okay, that's cool. So you have workers, you have like you're an employer of labor. You've employed people. Am I correct?
Yes, yes,
Wow, and you're willing to accept pie in exchange
yes,
for your service. Amazing,
yes, by
amazing.
the
So
grace of God.
how do you value one pie? For example, now if I have maybe my wife is pregnant and I bring my wife to your nursing home, how much would you um charge me to deliver my baby?
So it all depends on the consensus price. That is what I will also follow. Though I also voted for the $314K on Twitter.
Okay. You voted for the
Yes.
314K on Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah, but I want like I want us to understand that voting is not bad. Yeah, we all have to reach a consensus. Our belief will actually go
Mm.
a long way in helping
I
the value of
I
pie. But what
I
we
value
actually need to
my
do, the action
part
we need to take
very
is
high.
actually say that okay, for me, I am accepting. Yeah, like at what price? Like I want you to equate it now in naira or in dollar, whatever. Okay, if I don't equate it in naira or dollar, just like how many pie would you charge me for to deliver a baby in your nursing home?
So based on my own personal, me, I'm thinking
Yes, based on your personal, yeah.
it shouldn't be that 314K per se, but it shouldn't be less than $100,000 per one.
It shouldn't be less than $100,000 for one.
Yes, yes,
Okay, so I can pay you 0.0001 pi to deliver a baby in your nursing home.
yes.
Okay,
I will accept that
wow, that's fine.
by the
That's
grace
fine.
of God. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Not keeping us alive. Thank you for
Yeah,
that. Thank you for that, Musta.
yeah,
Thank you for
you're
that.
welcome. I wish everybody, all the pioneers, all the best.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, Tony, you want to speak? Let's hear from you, Tony.
Yeah, I want to speak. Uh, me to me, this price of it, we should. I put some things into consideration before I make any comment. Like what the let me start with the Chinese people. What they are doing is like you have a building somewhere in Koi, and the one person said, the owner said, I want to sell that building for 1 million naira. Then me that is coming to buy the building, I will now say no. How can you sell the building for 1 million naira? Sell it for 5 million. You get what I'm saying? No, the building so is supposed to be 5 million. Or another one of my cousin will now come again and say no. Oga, don't sell it for 1 million. Sell it for 5 million. And I am the one that was coming to buy the building. Am I not a fool? Because now, right now, what Nigeria, what the way I look at Nigeria, even in Edo State where I am now, we don't produce anything here. Most of the things we are using in Edo State come from China. Some is when Igbo man buy in Onitsha or buy in Lagos, we go there to buy. So if the people who are the producer of these goods say they want to sell low, because the more the higher the price, the lower the power I'm going to spend to buy my goods. I don't see any argument about how much are you selling. Even price should be $1 million, because I spent I know how much data, how much I have a group, two group. I spend my money do all everything that possible to keep them mining pie every day. Do you know what they call time? 3 years, 3 years of my time, and somebody is telling me let the price be lower than what price should be 1 million. Because if I have pie now, if you people are buying things, I will not buy anything because I will just be looking, because the price has not got it to where I supposed to start using my pie. That is just my own side of it. Huh?
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I think I'm done with what I want to
Yeah,
say.
yeah, I got that. Tony, your energy is great. Your energy is great. Okay, Woody, let's hear from you. I don't know if you heard what Tony just said, and Babangida Musa actually blew my mind, and Tony's energy is crazy. Mad. Hi, Woody.
Well, I happen.
Yeah, stop pretending. You don't want to hear from me. You want to go off now. You want me to come on so you can go offline now. Uh, yeah. I heard Tony. He's speaking some. There are some important considerations in what he just said about China being a major exporter of lots of commodities, and so the people who are importing from China, they would be able to, import with Thai, and um, they would be able to, have enough purchasing power in the little amount of Thai they have after lockup to fund their importation, and then since they bought at a certain price, they would then be able to sell, um, you know, with the backing of that same consensus value. So now we're not talking about partnerships between um, Chinese businesses and local businesses wherever they are. So I'm sure that the producers of these goods, like we established in the group yesterday and some days back, many of these Chinese merchants, they have limits. They have put in place some limits on purchase to to manage how the economic cycle is going. So, I mean, these partnerships could even be limited to, these transactions could even be limited to wholesale buyers, people who have established businesses that will keep the cycle running so that they are, as they are buying, they are selling, and they are earning again, and the cycle is continuing, right? So, I think it's an important thing to also look at when it comes to import and export. Um, so yeah, good one, Tony, for talking about the angle of importation and export from China. What what personally as utility to the power economy and accepting power payment as let's hear from more people. Paco,
Hello.
James Mary.
Yeah, this is next rated.
This is
I
who?
feel next rated. Well,
Next
my
rated.
thought to this,
Okay, yeah.
yes, yeah, my thought to this is that pie should not just be based on the what I have to offer, like what business I'm doing. My expertise is I can get paid in pie. Is that is enough something. When you work in an office setting, you really are not doing anything than helping the company grow, and then they pay your salary monthly. If you accept fire as a monthly salary, it is actually a service. It's not until I start selling goods, I start selling rice or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Then you get my point.
yeah.
But now the problem is
Already,
that accepting fire as a salary.
yeah,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
So the only problem that will now process is that how do how is going to the price going to be maintained in the long period of time? Because now I'm collecting a salary. It is already a fixed price that I expect to collect at the end of the month. And then by the end of the month, the price is now going up, going up, going up. It is not something. It doesn't make sense. My really challenge is not whether the price is up or down. Is how do you maintain it? Because now, pie, I don't think pie should be something that will be going up and down. I feel it should be really stable. You know, if it's stable, then you have this sense of confidence that in a long period of time, over a long period of time, man, the value I have is the value I have. You know, because now old people don't want their money to go down. Old people want their money to remain or increase.
Hmm.
When in the situation where you say, yeah, my pension is coming down, and there's somebody that's collecting salary, of course, pension and all that. Right? And then not telling that my pension will be going down is not still, that doesn't make sense. I just feel high to be rather stable rather than something that goes up. And to achieve that stability, well, it is up to them because I feel you cannot control a price that is low. You cannot do this pump and dump. You cannot get a group where you just gather together and say, we want to dump this. Because for you to dump fire at a very high price, you must be, maybe you're making money inside your house. Be that kind of person. That's just my own understanding of, because pie now is wants to be a global something. It's not just buying goods. Because most people are saying people are selling. It's not about people are selling. People want to start accepting also. It's not about just selling. My service is like if I work for you, you are making money and then you pay me fine. I'm okay with it, no problem. Because I know the value is the value. Do you understand?
Hmm. Yeah.
I just
So yeah,
well, I feel like pie should try and be stable, not something that will rise over the period of time. It should be fixed, and best way to fix it that will not be that will not realize into being dump at the pump and dump something is when it's fixed at a very high price. That zeal to want to enter into it, start mining, say, if I start mining this thing now, that means I'm getting this kind of thing. People will put it. And then they know that the price is the price. It's not going down. More people will enter. You give birth to children, you tell them that when you are old enough, start mining first. Yeah? Don't come and be asking for money. That kind of thing.
yeah. So these are some quite very, very delicate dynamics that you are pointing out. But and it's something that requires that everyone approaches it with a very open mind, with a will to learn something new out of it. Because as it is, the standard behavior surrounding cryptocurrency price value is is on it being volatile. We have not had a relatively stable cryptocurrency that functions as a currency. We have stable coins, right? And these are coins that are stable just because um, there is a peg. They peg them to something, right? But they don't have um, utility, flowing in and out of it, where value flows in and out from. And now, when uh, when people keep when people refuse that it should not be a high price, it should start from low and then gradually build up, they automatically are conceding to that standard behavior of volatility. Let crypto appreciate. So it's not a currency that can now um, carry confidence from um, economic players to come in that there's a currency that that can retain value. Because if it is going up, if it continually goes up at a very very sharp rate, there's that means that it's possible to also go down at a sharp rate if there is no
Exactly.
stable foundation on it, right?
Yeah, that's
So
what I'm saying.
yeah, so the fact that and then another dynamic there is that when it is benchmarked, because that's what this whole high consensus is trying to do. It's trying to create a benchmark. Let us benchmark a certain value that can give room for prospects to come in. Now, some people will bring the narrative that if it's too high, that means anybody that comes in and just mines the person can mine so amount of fire in an hour, in a day, or something, and they see it as it's not possible that people should be able to mine a certain value, right? Get a certain value just by mining. Now they ignore the aspect that there's nothing static here. There's no standing point where the number of people mining are just fixed at a certain number and nobody new is coming in. When there's a high value place to it, it means that the amount of people trooping in will be very, very enormous and it will come at a rapid rate. So it means that not everybody coming in after the high consensus value is actually going to get
Hello.
that value or is actually going to get as much worth from it. It only means that as much people, the more people come in, the more scarce it is, and the more it is impossible to get. So it is. I mean, it's just a game. It will then become a game of the fastest fingers, who is able to come in um, quicker than the other, and mine as much as he can before the next mining rate drop, which will be more. The court team has also said that the mining rate could possibly be adjusted to be on a daily basis based on new dynamics that come in when enclosed minutes trading starts. So everything here is very, very
Exactly.
dynamic and it's not static.
There's nothing static, but you mentioned that stablecoin are pegged. There's no problem with pegging Filecoin. You see, crude comes from the soil. Asia, they have this crude in bulk. You see, you
Mhm.
don't really have. If you there's a certain barrel you can just set aside that these barrels of crude is pegging high. I think we are looking at this thing just one
So
sided.
so but now
Is it
pegging pegging
okay?
cannot, why I don't think pegging can happen with Pi. You can't peg Pi to become a stable coin like that. It's not that kind of stable coin. Now pegging,
Pi
who
is
does
not
the
a kind of
right?
is a unique something. We you say a foreigner of something, you break the possibilities of things. You make things look possible, and then people will now start bringing ideas. Say, okay, that's true. If you do this, you do this. You don't think you cannot peg Pi. It's not even attempted to even try and peg it. You see, with we are talking about peer to peer barter. Instead of pegging it with money, peg it with natural resources. You know, I don't know why I am paid that I hear some kind of funny prices.
Now, so let me bring one angle why pegging of pi, why I think pegging of pi is not a way to go, or it's not a feasible thing. I want, first of all, who will do the pegging? It is the core team, right?
Yes, yes, the cotton.
So that amount, that first of all, that kind of amounts to the court in fixing a currency to something. It means that they are exercising some kind of centralized authority on the value of the currency by fixing it to something. That is one. Then two, the court in, has already said, you know, Pi is backed by time, attention, goods, and services. So
Yeah.
you cannot pick one thing and peg it to one thing. It's already automatically the by the philosophy of how it is created, pegged to our time, attention, goods, and also services. So a a computerized pegging, I don't it is not looking feasible here in this context. What do you think?
So you have said, I'm making
What?
sense because if I doesn't want, if I person don't want to be the decider of the price, my own is
Yeah.
how do you relate the price over time? Because
So
man, the heart of mind is wicked, out of mind. Once they see a way at which they can dump this thing, there are people that will put in all in their effort to just make it there.
now
So
about
that
the dumping, I
in,
think I have
in an
also
attempt
stated
to
this thing many times before about dumping. Now in
okay, yeah.
Pi, as long as we are not in open mainnet, I don't think there can be anything like dumping. There's nothing like dumping in enclosed mainnet
Mm,
because
Okay.
mm.
now one, what is dumping when you say this coin is getting dumped, it's crashing? What is hello? Can
People
you
are
mute
begging
your
the
microphone if you are
possibility
not speaking,
of
please?
exchanges. Hello?
Abdullah, you want to say something? Millicent, do you want to say something first?
I wanted to just add something.
Okay,
I,
who is
I
speaking?
was have been having network issues, so I've been coming on and off. But I just wanted to say that I'm not so much in support of pegging pi at a certain level, because I feel that you know there's something called use case, and pi is basically meant to be and going to be the most used cryptocurrency in the world. That is basically the target, one of the main visions of pi. So
Hello, we can't hear you.
there
Can you
is.
please speak louder?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? I
Yeah, I
think it's
can hear you.
network.
Just that your voice is a bit low.
Okay, I think it's network problem. So I said it cannot, in my own opinion, if the use case of Pi network is going to be very high, if the use case, if there are a lot of people using Pi network, it cannot be pegged at a particular point. The point, the when use case of a currency is high, then the value, it would also increase the value, because you see there are a lot of people using it, and then the circulation in supply, that one is of course, the circulation in supply is limited, and then you see the maximum supply is limited, and then we now understand even circulation in supply, that those things we consider. But that use case, because the use case is going to be high, in my own opinion, is going to be high when it enters both in that enclosed mainnet and of course in open mainnet, is going to be high. So it is not, in my own opinion, it's not going to be advisable to peg it at a particular price, because when that use case is there, it would there's no point, it just has to increase, like it just has to move up. I don't know if we get what I'm saying so
Yeah,
far.
very well.
Yes.
I
So
know. I
that's
mean,
why pegging it might not really be a good option, in my own opinion.
yeah, same here. Same here. I buy that. I agree with that. I mean, pegging cannot uh, solve everything. I mean, the best that the community can do is just you know establish a value through consensus and transactions, right? And that's why I mean that's why so the Chinese have benchmarked a certain value. You see, I mean everything is just based on human reasoning and what we can understand, and so different level of understanding within different set of people. I mean, even the Chinese who may be saying 314,000, and then many other people are saying it's too high, it's too high. Who knows even whether the the Chinese price is even too low? It's not even. It's just a benchmark. I mean, Okay, maybe it may be high at the start, but within a short time after transaction starts, it may come to be that it's actually too low and it needs to be higher than that or something. I mean, we can only do what we can comprehend, right? So because the amount of money, the amount of value actually to be captured in this world, and nobody can actually count it, can actually um capture it in numbers. No scientist, no economist. It's not done. That's why the white paper strongly builds upon the idea of of us being able to tap into our untapped untapped value, yeah, that we have, that is not being benchmarked in the world. So I mean, no matter the if we fix a value that is too high for transaction, and it happens in a very short time, you will see that the need has risen up to that value, and it may even now be pushing beyond it, because we cannot get it. There's no perfect. I don't think there's a perfect value that anybody can arrive at, that anybody can fix. There's no perfect value that anybody anywhere can fix. The value will have to be defined by by actions of human beings. It's not it won't come out of thin air. So at the end of the day, I don't think there's a perfect value that that can be fixed by uh, any transaction or any market activity. We just have to accept what comes out of our actions, and then start building on it and start increasing or decreasing, whichever the case may be. So yeah, that was just a bit about um so next rated said something about salary payment, and that was what led us to this discussion. And talking about salary payment, and I we can't see, we cannot I don't think we can anybody can even comprehend the scope of which pi has reached, like the level of involvement worldwide. Not even the courting themselves cannot even comprehend the level of involvement that pi has worldwide. It's impossible, because they are not aware of maybe the company in Egypt that has over 10,000 employees, and they are already, a few steps away from adopting pi payments for salary. No, you can't comprehend. Nobody can comprehend these things. Nobody, no experts, not even the people pushing for high consensus. All they can just do is try to the best of their abilities, um, you know, try to benchmark out there. But there's there's a big there's a big company in the USA that has over 55,000 employees, and they are already like getting ready to involve in the Pi ecosystem. In fact, they are already in the ecosystem. They are already in it. They are just waiting for action to start. They have over 55,000 employees, and one of
Please,
them
what's
is already talking up. Sorry.
the name of the company? Do you have an idea? I don't. Do you remember the name?
I know the name of the company, but I'm not saying it yet. So don't worry. In a few
Say now.
days, in a few days or something, you will start seeing some things about it. In a few days, hopefully before Pi today, maybe you may start seeing some activities. I will start doing some buzz around it, around that stuff. So I mean, they are already talking about one of the management, the company is already talking about pushing for Pi to be used as salary for their payment. I mean, so you can't even comprehend because when like the KYC validators have have testified, they are validating ID documents from every corner of the world, every corner, every kind of person, both high level and low level, high profile, low profile, rich, poor, every kind of involvement is there in the whole world already. So how do you benchmark the kind of value that these people are going to bring into pie ecosystem. Who can know all of it? The city cannot even know it. It's impossible. So if you and now, in fact, I would say this same company I just mentioned about having 55,000 employees and all that, they are already talking about, that they are hoping if they are hoping that Pi can produce funding for some of the discussions that I can't say go into those things, but for some of these things that that their discussions have been based upon, which would need costs to be incurred in Pi, they were talking about they are hoping that Pi can produce the funding. Now, when they say hoping that Pi can produce the funding, they're not talking about the Pi core team sponsoring them. No, I think they're a private company, if I'm not mistaken. Even if they're not a private company, the Pi core team is not a foundation or something that they will start sponsoring companies that are built for business. So he's definitely not talking about Pi Network sponsoring their funding because they are worth billions of dollars already. So when he's talking about Pi producing funding, it's definitely about meaning that the pie that the company, the team of the company have mind, the pie that they own as a collective can have funding of these things that we've been discussing. Because if the value of the pie that they have cannot fund these things, then it is used. That means they can't participate. That's what it means, right? So the value has to be carried. The value they need to be able to fund things at a corporate level. They need to be able to fund things with Pi. That's the kind of acceptance and inclusiveness that we're talking about when we're talking about benchmarking a value for Pi. But the opposers who do not yet want to understand, they try to keep try to find out try to bring out narratives that is just centered about what should be possible for a person to get, for a common civilian to earn as value. So, I mean, why are you trying to define or limit the amount of money a person should be able to get or not get? I mean, it sounds like a slave that loves his chains. I mean, if the current system, the government, and the way the financial system is built is keeping you from capturing your value, why are you trying to protect that same system to limit people from capturing more value than they were getting in the old system, which does not recognize that value? I mean, it's not too much of a complex concept to grasp, but some people just want to be proven as right so much, and I am still waiting for them to present a superior argument. So far, I mean, I am open to discussions and questions, but I have not seen anyone that has been able to present a superior argument to me against this benchmarking of a high value. So far, none. I don't know what you all have to say about that.
Hello, Woody. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please, what is the
Hi.
topic about?
Yeah, it's a continuation of yesterday. What you have to offer as value as a utility for Pi. What are your arguments? So we were just discussing about. Then it led to value as usual, talking about what's
Hello,
possible
Woody.
on
Hello.
low consensus value, high consensus value, blah blah blah, things like that. Yeah.
Okay, what is the general consensus? Is it are people following the high consensus or what? And if they are following, please can we know the exact amount that they have placed it?
So you know that Pi Revolution has launched this Pi Consensus Awareness Month thing, right? So basically, it's for people to just become more aware of the value of their Pi, so that they can protect themselves from people who want to exploit them and harvest their Pi for peanuts. Now, I think that the awareness so far has gotten to a very, very good level. I see a lot of people fighting for the 314,000 $159 prize. I mean, so many more and more people believe in it, and I think Now it's a free. It's now become like a free discussion, a free market thing. So when people have been saying that let us leave it to the free market, the price will be determined by the free market. These are the things that are involved. Now everyone now becoming aware of the value and fighting for their value. I mean, take for example, a few hours after I launched the week two activity for the Pi Consensus Awareness Month for people to tweet their businesses, what they were accepting for Pi. Pi More Metro came out and announced their new consensus of 314,000 back. And then a few hours later after Pi More Metro did, Express Pi came out also and posted their consensus of $314 only. Now, what happened? Paimon Metro, obviously, won the adoration of everybody. People were asking for their website link so they could register on Paimon Metro. People were following them on Twitter, blah, blah, blah. Then Express Pi, you can still go on Twitter and see the comments on the tweets of Express Pi. I even also retweeted Express Pi and also quoted their tweet to thank them for coming out to say their consensus, because that's what the whole awareness is about. I'm not trying to force that everybody must support high consensus. I mean, come out and back up your consensus, whatever the number is, and let the community now engage you. Let the market now engage you in discussion, because the community is the market. Now, Express Pi got a lot of negative feedback. So many people commenting. You can go on Twitter and check it. So many people were commenting that they would definitely not be patronizing Express Pi. They would definitely not be recommending Express Pi to any pioneer to use. And so many negative remarks were uncountable. Even under my own tweets, when I quoted Express Pi, thanking them for their consensus, and at the end of the tweet, I asked that pioneers, do you share in their belief? Will you be will you be buying from them? And all the remarks were no, 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 that Express Pi is not following the global consensus and everything. So this is already market force. This is market competition. You are seeing competition now between marketplaces to win to win customers who can offer the best value for Pi to pioneers. So pioneers will definitely go to who will offer the best value to them. Now, so it's only a matter of time before the competitors step up. So because they will not back out of the ecosystem of the economy, saying that, oh, they will not participate in the economy again. What they are a business, they have to participate, they have to earn, they have goods to sell, they have to sell. Do you grab? So the idea of the consensus campaign is to influence the market forces. Market forces are not um are not actually free, like like everyone would like to believe, that let us leave it to the open market or the free market. The market will determine the price. That's a kind of a misrepresented concept, in the sense that we all know, everybody that is conscious, that is aware, knows that the market of today is constantly being manipulated to suit the interest of the big players in the market. Government and corporations working hand in hand. It is always manipulated to suit the interest of the few big players in the market. But the vast majority of the people who are working in the economy, in the market, they think that everything is just subjected to free forces of market, of supply and demand, blah blah blah. But these forces are actually being controlled by a centralized few. So there is never a free market, in the sense that it is completely free without the influence of um, any big stakeholder or something like that. So now what we are doing is that we are the owners of the currency. We are the biggest stakeholders of the market, because we created the currency, and we also are the ones that are creating and that are providing the goods and services to back up the currency. So we are the market forces. Your pie has value, and there are people that are ready to it, back up that high value, and your competitors will fall in line. It's just a matter of time, because nobody likes to lose, and definitely not lose continuously at a long stretch. So I can't say that there's a one consensus that everybody should follow, or that, yeah, ideally where also I am also, driving the unified global consensus for with the Chinese community, you know, benchmarking 314159, right? Yeah, but like I've said before, we all know that it's an asking price. It's just for us to push an upper hand in negotiation, because market is negotiation, believe it or not. And what is happening now? This is the negotiation phase before transaction starts. This is the negotiation stage. What is happening between Express Pi now with Express Pi on Twitter is part of the negotiation. What is happening with Pima Metro is part of the negotiation. It's part of the market forces. So I think that's my own position on it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Woody. We are thanking God for we are having this kind of person in our midst and all the things we have been spearheading. Thank you very much once again. I think it is all left now to the pioneers to know what to follow on the buy consensus price or something. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So thank you, Bob, for me. So anybody else want to hop in and also say what you will be offering to the Pi ecosystem, um, as goods or service or whatever for Pi payments.
Hello, Mr. Weedy, please record the program so that we want to share the program to other groups.
Yeah, this it has been recorded. Yeah, it has been
Okay,
in recording since the beginning. At the
okay,
end of it, I will
okay.
also
That is
share to the group.
okay. That is good. That is good. Congrats.
Yeah. So anybody have any thoughts about how we've said so far regarding utility offerings, benchmarking of consensus value, pros and cons, um, market forces, free market, blah blah blah. Anyone could just hop in on that.
Yes, sir,
I
Saudi.
see.
Uh,
Yeah.
are we Saudi? Is are we allowed now to have a say? Maybe we too we can say this is also price we would like to follow or we would like to bring into the circle. Maybe other people may like to follow, or maybe they too they have some other things or other ideas that they want to bring about the price.
Sure. I mean, it's a free word. Bring whatever you want back up or something. Do whatever you want to do. It's a free word. It's a free stuff.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. About myself, sir, I am into fabrication of aluminum doors and windows. I'll be so sorry if that is not allowed because that's the kind of advertisement that I
No.
plead. I
This
plead
is
for
the
that.
time for advertisement. Advertise, please.
All right, thank you very much. So I too, I would like to accept Pi, provided the people we are buying materials from, I mean the Chinese people that we used to import from, they too, I know there will be some among them that will be accepting the Pi coin. So we too, we are already determining in a group to follow the suit. So that is for that. But I myself, I would have opined that we should base that particular price within the range of 100 and like say 105,000 dollar.
Sorry, I come again. Lost. Are you saying that you're an aluminium fabricator and you will be accepting Pi, and you are using the valuation of $100,000 per Pi?
Yes, sir. Saudi, yes, exactly, sir.
Oh, great. So have you tweeted a picture relating to your work, and say the amount of Pi that you will be charging, like the other guy did yesterday on the group? You should tweet a picture
Oh,
and
okay. I've not done that. In fact, I'm just hearing from you that it will be possible for me to do that. I will kindly go and do that now anytime.
Do that. Share your tweet. I will retweet it also with Spy Revolution account. Spy Revolution has a big, wide, very wide audience. I will retweet it like I did for the other guy, and so many people now have been asking him because he said that he will, he will give free designs to pioneers who also want to, commit to their consensus with their business. So he will do a design for them that they can post about their business, and then the amount of part that they will be charging. So you could even check out the guy. He's on the group.
That's very good, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you very much, sir. Sir Woody, you are always a blessing to this group. Thank you very, very much.
Everyone is actually a blessing to this group. We all have built this group together. So thank you. Uh, so let's hear from more. Let's hear from more people on this. Um,
Okay, sir.
um, Paul Davis, Musa Jabi, Solomon Prasad, James Mary, Isaac, Alphonse. Feel free to hop in and then you share your own. Paku also, OJ, Emmanuel. Feel free to hop in and share your own stuff.
Oh, Sir Woody, is that same Mr. Isaac that helped us while he was busy interpreting the French language for us the other time? I mean, 2 days
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, yeah. That's it. Hi.
He's highly welcome.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you, bro.
yeah. Great job. He is also the champion for the Minute Gathering in Kara, Togo. Yeah, so he has done a great job to reach the pioneers at the grassroots level in Kara to help them in different so many different ways that help.
Wow, that's awesome. Very wonderful of him.
Yeah. Um. So sorry. So if nobody wants, Suleiman, you want to speak? I see you omitted your mic.
Good evening, Mr. Woody.
Hi. Good evening. Who's speaking?
This is Suleiman.
Okay. Hi, Suleiman. Welcome. Welcome. So what's up?
Thank you. And actually, I'm a furniturist, and I'm willing to accept fire as a means of payment.
You're a what? Furniturist?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, amazing, amazing. So, are you going to, you have a consensus that you're going to back up, that you believe in, like a value that you want to conduct your business at?
I'll go with the opinion or the consensus of the masses.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, that means you're saying you don't have a fixed value yet.
I'll just go with the masses. Anything they agree on, I'll also agree on that too.
Yeah, you are part of the masses, and the community wants you to, also promote your service. You say so you do furniture work and all. So we need you to also tweet your business, tweet it out there for pioneers to see. I mean, we need everyone to actually come out and so everyone sees that yeah, there's a lot of work, there are a lot of value that pioneers are already offering to Pi with their individual work. So push it out there. Let more awareness. Let pioneers become more aware of the level of acceptance when it comes to utility, when it comes to accepting Pi payment for personal work and business and all those things.
All right,
Hopefully, I'll
speaking
do
of
that. Though I've not done that before, sure. But hopefully, I'll do that.
Yeah.
sorry, speaking of utility for Pi network, I do understand why this Pi browser cannot attend. the like you cannot have
Pie browser cannot what?
double tabs. The Pi browser, you cannot have shut tabs.
Mr.
Like every bookmark site. When you're looking for sites, you have to start remembering the login for the site, and then you cannot even. I just don't think the Pi browser is top notch for me.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I think that's
it,
a deliberate thing. When it's
deliberate.
time, the pie browser. Yeah, I think it's a, for me personally. I think it's a deliberate thing. I think when it's time, the pie browser will change its face. You will
Oh,
see the real face.
okay. Because you said utility now, I'm like, I'm not really enjoying utility.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you will see the real face.
Mr. Sulaiman, please kindly do that on time, please. We are all waiting. I too have told Mr. Woody that I will do that, and people will see my tweet also now. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I see.
Hello,
Crypto Tech.
good evening.
Hey, good evening. We're speaking Faku.
Good evening. Yeah, Fako.
Hey,
My name
Faku.
is Fahad Abdul Qadir.
Fahad, what's up?
I'm from Kaduna State, Nigeria.
Which state?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you, Woody?
I'm awesome.
I'm from Kaduna State.
Okay, Kaduna.
Yeah,
Great.
Nigeria. Nice to finally speak with you.
Same here.
You've been doing a great job and a lot for the group. Congrats. That's really nice. We appreciate you.
Yeah, just
We
do my
appreciate you.
best.
Yeah. Um. So I just want to put in my own small contribution.
Hello. I'm Mukeji. Hi. How's life there? Are you fine? Are you
Well,
fine?
we're
I
good. We're
come
good. How
from
are you?
Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
yeah. Welcome. I like your
Thank
energy,
you
but
very
you
much. Very happy to
interrupted
meet you.
somebody.
Great
Yeah.
to meet you.
Yeah. Great to meet you
Welcome,
too.
welcome,
You're
I
welcome.
usually
welcome.
speak French better. Concerning English, I just try.
Okay.
Okay, you're from Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Welcome. Okay,
I
so
hope
let's
we have
Faku.
Mr. Woody, Sir Woody. I hope we are having
Yeah,
Mr. Isaac around.
yeah. Isaac is here. Okay, so
Now I
let
can
Faku go
continue
on.
in French. So
Faku
Mr.
was
Isaac will be
speaking.
helping
Let
us to
Faku.
Okay.
translate.
Yeah. He knows that. He knows that. Don't worry about it.
Are you good in
So
French? Are you good in French speaking?
Hello, Buketi. So you interrupted Faku. He was speaking. So let him speak, please.
I can speak French.
Uh, yeah. Cool. Let Faku go on. Kindly mute your microphone, please.
If I speak French, you can translate it in English.
You can speak French. You can speak French.
All right. Yeah. Hey, Chris.
Okay. Thank
So
you. Thank you.
Faku, go on.
All right. So my own contribution regarding the consensus price for the enclosement net is going to go like this. So initially, before I came about an agreed or perceived value for my own pie, so I had to try myself out. Okay, if I want to spend my pie on some activities, how much of a pie do I feel comfortable to spend? So I've for the past few weeks I've been monitoring all around the platforms, different services and offers by all over the world, both the Chinese community, the Thailand, US, both Nigeria, everywhere. So there are like some pie chain mall that are currently promoting on $6,700. You understand? So and then while some people, individual persons specifically, are more of the people promoting the $314,000 or so. So now, when I look at it, okay, even though for someone who has a lot of pie, you know, it may not be much of a concern or a problem, you know, to spend your pie in the range of 6,700 and above dollars. You understand? So, but then if you are among the majority that your pie is not that much. At the end of the day, after the lockup, you know, after the lockup, and then your own specific amount of pie that can be transferred to your mainnet wallet, you will realize that you really don't have much access, you know, to the pie to spend. So now, if you look at it in the long term, in the next 3 years coming, how do you want to participate in the ecosystem? You understand? Even if you know, you intend to build a business around the pie ecosystem, do you have a sufficient buying power? You understand, to buy stuff, to resell, take profit, and continue. So, because I believe in the onset, we will definitely need to support the ecosystem, both with fiat and then the pie we have. There's no one that can tell you that is going to, you know, the ecosystem cannot just start like that. It's not magic. It's not magic. Somewhere along the line, you know, we have to compensate with fiat to build it. We're building an ecosystem. We're building a new currency. We're building a revolution. So it's not just something that's out of the thin air. So now, in consideration of all what we're building now, apart from the, you know, immediate goals, we have to consider the long term, the very long term. When I'm talking about the long term, not just 10 years, not 50 years, we're talking of the next 100 years. Will pi be relevant in the next 100 years? Will pi be able to, you know, survive or sustain what it's envisioning to achieve in the next 150, 40, 10 years? So now that's when your analysis and then your you know, experiment and research will now come into place. Okay, so if we do start with a very low consensus price, let's say $1,000, what do you expect? Okay, as the ecology evolves, as the economy mature in the pie ecosystem, you will realize that, okay, yes, the price need to grow. So now, what are the metrics that will determine that particular growth? Is it going to be volatile? Is it going to be gradual? Is it going to be stable? So if there's a change in price, if it's positive, if it's increasing, so now what will happen with the people that have been spending time before, you know, before a high value is being achieved? You understand? It's going to cause a disruption in the market. It's going to make some people, you understand, halt, wait for value appreciation before they can think of spending their pie. So now, when we now try the other way,
Hello, Faku. Faku, we lost you.
We lost him. And that must a better idea about the pi consensus price.
hello,
Yeah,
hi.
Faku, you're back.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I think it must have been my network.
All right.
So I was saying, when we now say, okay, let's take an approach of starting with a high consensus price. So if we do start with a high consensus price, you know, there are many factors, there are many things we need to consider to, you know, to prevent pie from failing at the initial stages. Now, those are the questions of, you know, people trying, you know, just to liquidate. Because you are seeing pie has a value of $314,000. You have like 10 pie, you're feeling like you're just a millionaire, or you know, overnight, even though it's not overnight. So now you definitely agree with me that if we want to prevent that, you know, there has to be, you know, modalities that are built into the platform to prevent, you know, people, and then prevent people from finding ways to liquidate the pie, which it's even not practical. Because one, now all the platforms that are what's it called, partnering and then participating in the enclosed mainnet, if you read their terms and conditions, they are trying all they can to limit the purchasing quantity of each product. You understand? So they are not allowing you to bulk buy just because you have access to buy. Because there are some people that will now say, okay, since we cannot liquidate, let me buy 100 of these things and then come and sell it for cash. You understand? So now for people like that, it has blocked them. So, but there are people that, yeah, they actually want to buy those products and then come and resell in their local communities and sell it in pie. You understand? Just to boost awareness, just to increase acceptability and participation within the pie ecosystem. You understand me? So, and then now, if we have that high consensus price again, so there are other metrics that okay we need we can say it's an advantage to the growth of pie. Now, okay, if we start with a high consensus, we can now check okay how is that price going to grow, or is it going just to be there permanent for life? It's not possible to have a constant purchasing power for life. You understand? Realistically, economy evolve. Things change. Many metrics will affect, the purchasing power. So, but I believe it's another angle that the High Court may definitely be looking at. How will the incremental growth of pie come? Because we need to prevent pie from having a volatile change in price fluctuation. I, as a business owner, if I sell products and I want to be sure that okay, my one pie, will be able to be valuable in the next 1, 2, 3 years, even if it's going to change, it's just going to be, minimal. It's not like something that will just wake up with Bitcoin today $60,000, tomorrow money is $20,000. I bought it today $60,000. I'm already in loss, negative. You understand? It doesn't make sense. That's not a real, economy that's going to sustain the whole world. So, as for me, I'm very much okay with the price of $214,000 for now. You understand? I think I have the little capacity to play around and participate around that price range in the enclosed mainnet. So, and how am I trying to do that? I have professional
You have what?
We lost this man again.
Yeah, let's give him a few seconds.
hello?
Yeah, Faku.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So
we lost you. You said you have what?
I'm intending to provide some services in this enclosed mainnet, you understand? And I'm
Awesome.
accepting that price range, you understand? That I'm currently promoting, or that my value perception is okay with right now, you understand? So
Okay.
if you want me to build a website for you, I can actually build it. So the only condition I have on the onset right now is that okay, just buy your domain and hosting of your own choice. All the setup, all the configuration, the building of the website, I'll do that for you. From it takes time to do all that. You understand? So if I'm okay, yeah, if I'm okay in collecting then as a currency, as a currency from you, then I believe is a step forward, in my participation in the ecosystem. Then at the long run, if we have more, modalities and businesses that are able to provide us with some goods, I think I will be more interested in buying mobile phones, and then what's it called, all these Bluetooth speakers, and then a few laptops that I can actually sell in a store. So I may not have. I know I can use some of my fiat currency, even to cover up for some little logistic around the process. You understand? But if those companies accept my pie as a payment for the main product, so irrespective of the logistic situation, I can handle those ones into Nigeria. So once it's here, I have a strategy. You understand? So based on my rate, I'll offer those products for sale in pie. You understand? Definitely, I will have to do my calculations, and then include, it's a business. It's not for free. I include my profit and what have I in the process. So now then I will have two payment options. On the fiat system, I'm going to inflate the price. You understand? I'm going to inflate the price on the fiat system. So now if you want to buy, I will encourage you to buy with Pi. You understand? If you are not in Pi, you come to the shop, then you will definitely it's a plus for us now. We can now refer you and give you our referral code. You join Pi, and then so now the problem will now be it will take you 1 month for you to get access to Pi. So, but we can assure you, yes, mine it, and then we'll sell a phone to you with Pi. For those who already have Pi, we'll sell to you. So now I know how my people think around in this country. There will be people that will tend to come and say they want to buy a lot. I already know the trick, so I'll definitely work with the limit of one person, one user per one or two product at a time. So if you must use fiat to pay with me, if you are fine with the price, fine, go ahead and buy it. So that's how I intend, to support my own system for now. So, but for the services I'm offering, I think my flyer will soon be ready. So I'm hoping to share it also around. So that one is 100% pipe, except for website hosting and the domain purchase. The client should just buy that one and then do every other thing. So that's just a little intending to promote, because yeah, and another thing now, the reason I understood with the Chinese community, because the bigger goal of Pi is in supporting the global trade. So when we're talking of global trades, if do you know the volume of the global transactions daily, we're talking in trillions of dollars in every day happening around the world. You understand? So, but what will surprise you is that this transaction do not clear out in that day. You understand? All this business, it takes 4 working days. Some takes even weeks before they clear out before they get access to their cash now. Like if a Chinese company comes into Nigeria, they want to export raw materials now. So if they are bringing in before their money in China comes into Nigeria, it takes days, they clear it. If you're Nigeria trying to go and import goods now, before your dollar moves out of Nigeria, the settlement process, it takes time. You understand? So there are a lot of businesses there. I think everybody will be happy for him to be able to trade $1 billion and let the business receive it instantly that same day. You understand? Just imagine how effective, and then how improved our lives would be. Just like before the advent of aeroplane, it takes us months to move from one country to another through ship. So, but you now, even in the aeroplane sector, look at it. The billionaires now have private jets. They have private jets. They use Bombardier, different kind of private jets. Now, a billionaire can travel from Nigeria direct to New York and to London in that same day. But if you cannot afford a private jet, you understand, you are now also limited to the commercial services, which takes you days, more hours and time to go from one country to another. Are you understanding the privileges and the kind of things that Pi envisions to achieve? So I think I feel very much confident in the success of Pi, and then I'm okay playing around it. Definitely, in a revolution, there are people, who are all risking it, are all risking it with our resources, our time, and everything. So, but the long-term goal is if it succeeds, which definitely we're hoping to succeed, everybody stands to gain. Nobody, because everybody, both the people that will come and join in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years, have every platform, understand, for them to benefit from it. So that's just what I have for today. So thank you. Thank you.
This is very, very awesome. Your
Great.
exposition from you. Uh, you have said so much. I don't know which to respond to, but I must commend you. I mean, this is lots of commitment for you to, um, you talked about also going out of your service capacity to, also try and be active in goods transaction, some investment, even with fiat currency and all those things. So, I mean, this is what the ecosystem needs. And I think this is what the whole fight is all about. I mean, see now people, because people have somehow consciously or unconsciously gotten invested in the belief of a high consensus. Now this belief is now driving people to come out that they are going to offer this, they're going to offer that, they're going to offer this, and more and more keep coming out, are coming out day by day. So I mean, it's winning. It's also giving more commitment to utility for the ecosystem. Yeah, because
So
everyone now wants to walk the talk. The idea that we're pushing everyone to walk their talk. If you're saying this, come on, let's do it. And I mean, it's amazing. I must really commend you.
thank
You've
you.
given a sound basis for your belief, first of all, and also what your things that you'll be doing to support your belief. I mean, that's great. That's great. Well done, Fako.
Thank you.
Want
Thank
to,
you.
I want
Thank
to
you.
be more active in chat because you really have some really nice insights, and I wish that you'll be sharing them more frequently with people. You have some really nice insights.
Yeah, by God's grace, if I do have the time, I will.
Yeah, yeah. So, hey, Chris.
Hi.
Yeah, welcome. So how's it going? So you guys just your latest talk of town, Paimon Metro, um, you have given some real confidence booster to a lot of pioneers in different regions, that you'll be backing up the high consensus of 314159. Um, I would just say you maybe you could say one or two things about that. Because I know Paimon Metro is committing. It's not just a platform for people, for vendors to come and do peer to peer, and so it's not as if you are deciding everything for you're deciding the consensus that your vendors should work with. So what is it all about?
Um. Yeah. So good evening, everyone, and thank you for this opportunity. So what actually drive the price was to support the Pi ecosystem and also the pioneers, the vendors, and um the e-commerce as a whole, like under the Pi ecosystem. Like I like what this my friend Paco just said, considering those we have different type of finance. We even have some who started mining today. You understand? And
Yeah.
if at the end of the day, maybe their pie ended up in being maybe $350 or $100, you see, they will not like do not end up having anything. You understand? And they will not be able to participate in the pie ecosystem. You understand? And but if the price is at that 314,000 US dollars, I think everyone will have the opportunity to participate, even the newbie who just signed up today.
Yeah. So are you guys backing up? Are you guys like also offering products? I mean, not the vendors on your platform. I mean, Primo Metro itself. Are you having your own utility offering on your platform, like your own products or
Yeah,
service
yeah,
or something to render?
yeah.
Oh,
Pymometro
that
is yes. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. That's great.
Yeah, we are a multi-vendor e-commerce marketplace. We do not depend on our vendors for products and services. We have our own products to offer, but vendors are invited. You understand?
Okay,
That's
so
if you
it's like
wish to.
okay, so for reference, it's like let's say Jumia. Jumia. they're having vendors, the dream
Yeah.
sell their own
Yes.
product. That's great. That's great.
Yes. We have
So that's
we have and we also envision to build an outlet that will be on the mainnet. You understand? Around nationwide first before it goes global. At least in every state in Nigeria, we will be having our outlets where you can go directly to shop with your pie without making any orders or stuffs like that. And
okay.
we also have our own logistics, that's PMM logistics, that will be
Okay.
delivering nationwide also, and also in collaboration with some of the big courier services like DHL and so on. So everything is
That's
just ready. We just yeah, I can hear you.
That's amazing. I know that pioneers will be wanting more information on these things because these details also inspire more confidence. I'm thinking, I feel because I have my next consensus price is a fight and consensus price is the weapon 3.0 space coming up. And I think Paimon Metro should be there because Paimon Metro is now up there in the consensus game. So I mean, Paimon Metro should be there. I will plan to
Sure.
communicate with you a bit after. So we'll plan or involving the plans. I was supposed to fix the space for Sunday, which is next tomorrow, but I don't think I can. I'm going to tell Doris and the other Chinese guys that I've informed them already beforehand that it's going to be Sunday, but I have to shift that date because I'm not ready. I don't think I'll be ready to host that space on Sunday. So sometime next week,
No,
we'll have the
no
consensus.
problem. Anytime. Anytime.
And Pamela should be there.
Yeah,
Pamela should
yeah,
be there. So I'm more
anytime.
sure. All right. Great, great, great.
All
So
right.
yeah, so crypto technique. I wanted to call you the other time, but this Faku was speaking, and that Ivory Coast guy was interrupting. Hi, crypto technique. It's two. You there?
Hello. How you doing? Do you hear me?
Hey, I'm awesome. How are you?
Good, good. Just so you know, I'm from the U.S., so I'm representing them.
Yeah. Speaking from the US, we're in the US,
Yes. East Coast, Maryland.
Maryland. Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay, great. So, and you've been very very vocal in the group chat. And first of all, let me also appreciate also your lots of insights. I mean, so in this discussion, one man can't know everything. Yeah. So we listen to both the oppositions and those who are in support, and then we learn from
Correct.
everybody. We learn a lot of things. So, and then you've been dropping a lot of
Yeah.
great thought provoking things.
Um.
I really appreciate your input. And
Well, I
you
appreciate you understanding that. Yes. So, I mean, my concept of what's happening is, um, it's kind of inevitable for the $314,000. And the way I see it, using data, like, for one, we already know, just flat out, we already know that when we actually get our pie, we won't have a lot. Even the big guys will not have a lot because most of the time, uh, most of the pioneers with polls and everything have locked up 90% for 3 years. So we have to actually it has to be, so the amount of pie has to last them a, 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 a reasonable amount of time. So that in itself gives the price high because you'd have to be using micro pi just to continually make transactions and use the pi. Um,
yeah.
like, do you have any other like a question of like why it wouldn't be?
So
So
come again.
let's say if people are trying to understand why it can't be, 314,000.
Okay.
Well, the reason why it can't be that they're thinking that it can't be that is hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I had to deal with my children.
Okay.
So what I was saying is that it's actually inevitable for it to be 314,000 and higher
Sure.
because in the transactional equation, if it's at $10 or $100, the people who do make those transactions will literally just run out and deplete and not be able to make any more transactions. The key is the transactions will be averaged out because so that in itself gives everybody a chance to make their consensus on what they decide their value is. So that's why I'm also vocal on yes, it can be $10 and $100. The time frame will be immensely short because all those people that are doing those crazy devalued price transactions will run out of those of their pie and won't be able to do those transactions. Then the only other transactions that will be there is the 6,700, the 200,000s, 300,000s. Like myself, I'm doing $1 million transactions, which will then have to be averaged over across, you know, all the
What million
transactions
dollar
as a
will you be
whole.
doing?
Say it again.
What $1 million transactions would you be doing?
So the thing is, we can sell anything. We just have to price it right in that equation at $1 million. I'll be selling the JBL Charge 3. It's an electronic device, Bluetooth. It's great. I love
Yeah.
it. I've had many years with it, and it's great. I want to sell them and have everybody else have it. So I'll I'm buying them, but I'll be selling them at this big point. I forgot how many zeros. 0.0001798 because it's $179 USD. But I'm definitely going to accept that price for it because as a seller, if I do that, for one, that's making those transactions that price, which is valuing the pie that I have as a pioneer to begin with. So also the merchants and vendors do know this because they should be pioneers as well. If they even go at that higher rate, they're making themselves wealthy and spreading wealth, making everybody else wealthy and spreading wealth. The core team's motto. Now, the starting price is not really the concern because if it starts at 100, yeah, you get a couple transactions from the pioneers that in the minority have like me. I have 10,000. Some other people have 20, hundreds, thousands, right? But those that many people is so small compared to the 35 million people plus, especially after KYC, what they have. They're not going to be making those transactions. They don't have it. So the guys who have it, they can only make so many because they will then what deplete it if they don't value their pie, which is why I don't see how there could be a dump in the barter system for one. Um, these are just analogies of why it should be that price, and then you have to put in the equation all the goods in the world which we are going to be using, which we produce, are going to be sold for pi. What is that valuation? It's actually infinite because goods always get better, more valuable, and we are using pi to transact with it. So you have to use those two equations as when people are saying, "Oh, the cap can't be that big," but the market cap is we're capitalizing off of goods and services, the whole essence of economy and stuff. So the equation is pies, 100 billion pi, which is small, divided by the quadrillions of dollars in that sense, or the quadrillions of gold or whatever. We're using it, we're goods and services is the end goal. That is, the value is insurmountable. So what does pi's value actually you think it is? Yeah, this 314 is great, but 10 years down the line, you're mining a hell of a lot less. The price is going up 5 million, 150 million, just to compensate for the people who are going to be joining later in life that are going to get 0.000 mining rate, or even another zero, much smaller. That little small amount in the future is going to have to accommodate people's living ability. These are just cases for why it's going to be higher, and why that lower valuation is uh, true, because it's people's valuation. They just have to see that it's bigger than that, and they will see
I
that by the ability that they can transact with.
um sorry, Chris,
Yes,
crypto technique. Sorry, sorry to
that's okay.
cut you. I'm sorry to everyone, but Faku, Isaac, and Baba Femi, can you hear me? Can any of three hear me? Isaac, Faku, Baba Femi.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm here.
Good.
So, okay, I have just temporarily made you an admin on the Pi Revolution group, yourself, Isaac, and Baba Femi, because I need
Okay.
this discussion to go on because I'm liking what I'm here, but
Okay.
I have to log off this meeting now because I have another meeting for 7 p.m. with
Oh,
some
wow.
Okay.
Okay.
part who wants to do stuff with Pi Revolution. So I need to go
Yeah.
to that meeting and I need to. So I have made you guys an admin so that you can please continue the voice chat and you can just end it at your own discretion based on how the discussion is going. But please just keep it on so anyone can
Okay.
discuss and share points. It is being recorded. Please note that if you are ending the voice, if you are leaving the voice chat, do not click on end this voice chat unless you actually want to end it. So just know that
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, he's logging off.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you can continue.
So, if does anybody have any questions concerning like the analogies I was talking about, as to why what the price consensus is actually deriving, and the goals, I guess.
Yes, you're saying that in the event that it's growing, people will need to continue mining. But can't people use Pi without mining? Like, can't they just have the wallet? And there's a need for them to buy Pi because there's something they want to use with the Pi, so they can buy it instead of mining it along the line. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
idea now is everybody's just going to mine, and then
Mm-hmm.
the price to go up because now that I am mining, it has to they have to compensate me with an higher price because I just entered now, and the price is 3 1 something because I just entered, and then the mining rate is very low. It has to be increased so that it can compensate me for joining. But why
Oh,
can't people
absolutely.
just
No,
why
like I
can't
said in my yeah, like I said in my analogy, the pie will increase for that newer person because of you not mining that much. And I know that understand the analogy when we actually mine all of the pie, how you do, that's what the nodes are for. That's when the nodes actually jump in. So the nodes are actually still the mining kind of mechanism because it's the consensus mechanism. Even on your phone, the node is the same thing. It's just a representative. So it we would actually still be mining, but it would be in a Bitcoin fashion, and the energy consumption would be obviously minor because of Stellar. Uh, there are no gripes with Stellar's protocol and energy as well. So we would then still be able to mine via the nodes, and then that also creates the circulation within the economy to keep the coin trading hands. Because then I'm gonna accumulate my pie, and I want to spend the pie that I get from my nodes. then there goes, but because it's by that time, it would probably be in majority of the hands, which equates to less fluctuation. I do see the stablecoin argument as well. Yes, it should be, but it won't. It'll just be minute because we are still giving different peoples the right to value pi. If they value it lower, okay, then the averages will just equate a small percentage of average in that average, and you'll see 314 or whatever the price may be fluctuate a little bit. So I'm seeing it as both as well,
Yeah.
and can work in the same ecosystem.
Yes.
I'm,
What I'm trying to say is,
yeah.
if you are cooking, you don't have to be the maker of the tomato. You can actually go and buy the tomato. So it
Yes,
doesn't
you
mean
can.
that you can pie is to mine pie. You can also have pie by buying pie.
Yes.
You We can do that, right? And
Hello,
Yeah.
before you
can you
just
hear me?
Sorry, can I come in, maybe?
I can hear.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can kind of hear Farku
Okay.
a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah,
He
I
he
would.
was
Let me. Can I answer that question?
okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. The guy saying he just joined that why we are just mining instead of buying. You cannot.
Oh, that's
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Yes, we
can
can
hear.
hear you.
yes.
Yeah. That's why the Pi called him extending the mining of Pi, and you cannot buy Pi now on the enclosed mainnet unless it gets to the main net itself, where it will be listed on other exchanges like Binance and other big exchanges before you can buy. And I'm very sure that before Pi will be listed at those exchanges, it will be very used, like it will be used within the ecosystem. That is why the high consensus price is very
Yeah,
necessary. You understand?
you're
So that
correct.
even if you have one Pi, at least it will sustain you for some time. You
Yes,
understand?
correct.
Yes, that is why the high consensus price is very necessary.
Especially in the beginning.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So let me just add some few points to that. Um, if we could remember from the white paper, it was clearly stated that at the end of the enclosed mainnet, when we enter the open mainnet, when the firewall is all removed, so that
Mm-hmm.
is when the community and and the core team feels that the Pi software is ready, then they can now connect it to all other exchanges where you can convert to fiat or any other crypto. You understand? So I believe what I understood with that statement is that okay, yes, everybody will agree that connecting to exchanges now will automatically make Pi become a speculative currency. You understand? So, in order to prevent that, to prevent volatility, their modus operandi now is to allow the community to build value. You understand? To build inclusiveness,
Correct.
because the moment Pi is being, accepted and being traded for real products and utilities all around the world. You understand? That's that's a foundational and strong value creation that's been achieved. You understand? So once a lot
Correct.
of people, the majority of the people around the world are used and psychologically have accepted that value that's been created, there is definitely, do not forget that Pi system is not it has not finished evolving. It's an evolving system. Even the white paper is an evolving paper documentation. It is not finished. You understand? A lot of researches are ongoing with the data that are being generated. You understand, by users. All our input, all our observations, it's being measured. All the metrics. So with those research, they are now improving the system. You understand? All the problems that can come on, they are now trying to mitigate it before we open, before we become, a fully decentralized operating economy and system. Um, you understand? So yes, definitely, a time will come. It will be listed on the exchanges, but it will not be listed like other crypto that do ICO, airdrops and what have you. It will be listed based on the real world value that people have agreed to trade with. You understand? So now,
Yes.
for anybody, if they want to use their fiat to buy pie at that time, now they must clearly mean real business. You understand? You can't just come and say because you're a billionaire buy $2 billion worth of PyCon and think you can manipulate the market. It cannot work. You understand? There's no single entity that can manipulate the price of what's it called Pi network, including the core team. You understand? Are you getting me? So that's what we're trying to prevent. Are you getting me? So if you understand all these scarcity mechanism that are being put in place, you understand, trying to create a balance in the whole system and distribution, fair distribution globally. Understand? You will see that there's a lot of value being done. There's a lot of value. Has anyone even questioned how much silver has gone down, in expenditure in bringing pipe to this date now? How much has been invested so far? We're not talking of few millions. We're talking of hundreds of millions of dollars in this kind of project. You understand? If Pi came to the public in 2019 March, then ask yourself, when did the actual project began? You understand?
Right.
Well, that means it must be a project that has been in an incubation for over 5 years before that 2019. So
Yes.
definitely they
Correct.
are building the project without any room for error. They are trying to build the perfect balance and fair currency in the world. You understand? It's bringing about revolution. There will definitely be critics. There will definitely be people trying to fight it. We've not even start seeing the government reaction, the world government reaction in the system yet. So it is left to you and I to see what is the long term gain. How do we protect ourselves? Because for me, understand, I really don't like the limitation I have with my banking system. You have money, they tell you when and how you need to spend in foreign exchange. You understand? They limit you unless you are part of the cabal or you are part of the